Hey everybody, welcome back to Vegas Weekly for Saturday, March the 12th, 2022. This will be our last episode before our trip to Vegas next Wednesday. Now we will do some sort of a Wednesday show, probably be uploaded fairly late in the day on Wednesday, and then we'll have more or less have programming through the next week or so. There will not, in all likelihood, be a Vegas Weekly next Saturday, but there should be a vlog, and who knows, maybe we'll do some kind of a live Vegas Weekly, but I wouldn't bet on it. Next Saturday is going to be a pretty busy day. Looking forward to meeting many of you for the first time, or for the first time in a long time. Today, we are going to kind of continue the theme from last week. If you didn't check it out, I talked about some of my favorite hotels on the Las Vegas Strip and a few reasons why. And I thought we'd go ahead and move downtown this week and do basically the same thing. Now, obviously, there's quite a few less properties downtown, like a dozen. So it's a little bit easier to make the top 5. But by and large, I'm pretty fond of all of the downtown properties in one way or another, and have stayed at most of them. So I probably, in some ways, it was more difficult making this choice. But we kind of pulled it together. So I'll kind of run through that top 5 and maybe a little bit shorter show today, which I'm sure will not break anyone's heart. Before I do, I kind of wanted to talk about a way that I've started thinking about the downtown area. And of course, it's a fairly compact area. You can walk from one end to the other in a very short period of time, unless there's huge crowds, which there probably are tonight. But I do think there's 3 sort of areas that we can talk about. First is the Fremont West area. And with the opening of Circa, now just over a year ago, this has become kind of a hot spot again. And for a while, it kind of wasn't. The plaza kind of limped along. Golden Gate was just a little casino over here. You had the construction site. Of course, during COVID, you had Main Street Station completely shut down. And before its fairly recent hotel remodel, the Cal was kind of an afterthought for people. But I think all of these properties have something to recommend them, and they all kind of connect one to the other, one way or the other. You can go from the back side of the Cal or the front side of the Cal into the back side of Circa, from Circa right across the street, either to Golden Gate or to the plaza, of course, from the plaza to the Golden Gate, from the plaza just right down the street to Main Street. So it's kind of one big giant casino. No, not really. But so there's that sort of Fremont West area. Then there's what I call the Fremont Central Business District, which are those 4 properties right there on the corner of Casino Center Boulevard and Fremont, sort of iconic old school Vegas properties: Golden Nugget, Binion's, 4 Queens, and Fremont. And then I would probably also throw the D into this mix. It's right there, about a block to the south, although you could argue it could be included in our last category. And then I also probably would include the Downtown Grand, which is just up the street there, about a block. So that's sort of your central business district there on Fremont Street. And then the Fremont East area, which has a lot of interesting bars and restaurants and stuff. But basically the only casino in that area would be El Cortez. So that's how I kind of break those down. I think it's interesting. So let's start on the Fremont West area and start with the plaza. I've been staying at the plaza for over 25 years, basically. 25 years ago, this spring, I first stayed at the plaza. And just a couple of years ago, I stayed at the plaza. Well, last year I stayed at the plaza, now that I think about it. Seems like a long time ago. But there have been a lot of changes made there, pretty much all for the better. I've been very impressed with their recent room remodel within the last 3-4 years. Their new luxe rooms are some of the nicest and some of the best values anywhere downtown. I think the casino is a nice, fun mix. There's a lot of cheap, quick food options on site. And of course, you have a great location there across from the brand new Super Circa complex. It is an alternative if you want to spend a lot of time over there, but don't want to spend quite that amount of money. And obviously, the Golden Gate is another option there because you've got that sort of sister property. But the hotel there is quite a bit lacking, and there's no food options there at all. So it would definitely include the Plaza as one of my 5 favorite hotels downtown. I'll go ahead and include Main Street Station, even though I haven't been there now in several years. When I was there in September, it was just reopening, but by all accounts, it's pretty much the same property. The rooms could use a little bit of work, but I think, like so many other people, I love the casino there. That sort of old Victorian style. One of the best casino views in all of Vegas is when you come across from the Cal and you look down and you're able to see the entire Main Street Station casino. The buffet there is now the only buffet downtown, and they also have their a brew pub. The main casino bar is one of the best bars anywhere in Vegas as far as video poker, and you have the on-site craft brews available when you're playing, and they're pretty good. So it's just a good spot. I've had a lot of good fortune at Main Street Station, and that's probably why it ranks pretty high here, but definitely a very good choice. Now, it's probably somewhat controversial that I'm leaving Circa off of this list, and objectively, Circa is the biggest and nicest property downtown, so let's get that out of the way. But it hasn't yet become one of my favorites. I've enjoyed spending some time there on my last 2 trips. I like the overhang bar. The sports book is fabulous. If I was a pool guy, I'd be pretty impressed with that pool. But it still feels a little bit big and not exactly a place that I'm super comfortable yet. That could change. And at this point, the rooms are a bit prohibitive in terms of my choosing to stay there. But a great property. If you can afford it, definitely check it out. A lot to recommend it. In addition to Circa, there was something that was kind of a veto for me about all 4 of the properties there in the center of Fremont, whether it be Fremont, where the place is really crowded, the rooms are desperately in need of some love, although it's my understanding they're in the process of getting that finally. Fort Queens, nice coffee shop there, some sort of classic, good quality video poker available. But never stayed there, never had a vibe for me much. Binion's, I don't know. There's nothing left of Binion's. They have that neat little revolving bar up top, and the snack bar is okay, but the rooms there are weird, just to be kind. The rooms are generally quite fine at Golden Nugget, but the place has never been one I've enjoyed playing at. And they're also a pretty good hike away from Fremont Street. So I don't know, part of the beauty of staying downtown is that everything is just right there. And if you're staying at Golden Nugget, everything's really not so much quite right there. I do, however, like the D, and this was kind of a long shot that this one was going to come in as one of the top 5. They've got good quality rooms at a reasonable price. Not top of the line, but definitely good. The affiliation with Circa has been a real positive there. There's like their swimming pool is like a bathtub, but you've been able to use the stadium swim over at Circa. I don't know if that's still the case. Definitely check before you make a reservation, but that's a really nice sort of perk of staying there. The casino or casinos, upper and lower, both have a fun vibe. I like the bars there. They all have something to recommend them. The View Bar upstairs generally has the better video poker, just kind of has a laid-back feel. You have, of course, the classic long bar, with the, mixologists doing the little tricks and stuff. Cool spot. And I really like Bar Canada, the newest addition upstairs. I spent some time there on both of my last 2 trips and will again. Just a really fun place. So overall, I like the D. It's a little noisy. The area is a little noisy, but if you're going to stay in that part of the Strip, you might as well. A place that is definitely not noisy, but a place that I enjoy, probably because it's so low in noise and low in traffic, maybe, is the Downtown Grand. The hotel here is just okay. The rooms feel nice enough, but just kind of threadbare, a little cheap. I don't know quite how to explain it, but definitely nice enough, clean enough, a good spot, located close enough to downtown that it's an easy walk, but far enough away from some of the hubbub that, you can get away from it. And it is a quiet casino typically. I like the main casino bar there. Had some good luck playing there, but that's a nice spot. And I enjoy the mix of games. So I picked that as 4 out of my 5 favorite casinos downtown. And finally, we have to step down to East Fremont for what's probably my favorite hotel and casino downtown, and that is El Cortez. I've stayed at the property, I guess, 3 times. And I like the hotel. It's just fine. I stayed at the Cabana Suites once and in the main tower a couple of times. They've also done some room remodels since I last stayed there. And the new rooms look really nice. A nice upgrade over what was starting to look a little old school, like your grandmother's house or something. But now they're much nicer. I just really like the feel of the casino. It used to be kind of dingy and dirty. Definitely don't get that feeling anymore. It's very clean, lot of fun games. Sometimes games you see there you don't see other places. So I just like it. They're fairly generous with their comps. And I like the location near the canopy and all of that, but also a few steps away, close to the container park and all the attractions in the Fremont East area. So there you go. So controversial, I'm sure, to pick Plaza, Main Street, the D, the Downtown Grand, and El Cortez, and leave out places like Circa, Golden Nugget. So what do you think? What are your 5 favorite downtown properties? I'll be interested to know. I know some folks spend a lot of time downtown, other folks barely visit, and may not have developed quite so many thoughts on this area. But in any case, let me know what you think about these downtown choices. Let me know what's up when it comes to your feelings about Fremont Street. We're going to go ahead and wrap up this mind-numbing 2-part show on some of my favorite properties. And looking forward to spending some time at hopefully most all of those properties, at least briefly, on this trip coming up. Be flying into Vegas on St. Patrick's Day, which should be interesting. One other time in my Vegas career, I arrived on St. Patrick's Day. But I'm thinking I might be a little less tired on this particular visit. I did mention that I was leaving on Wednesday, and that's kind of true. I actually booked a hotel in the Kansas City area on Wednesday night so that I wouldn't have to wake up quite so early and drive quite so far on Thursday morning, because my flight is like at 10 o'clock. So, this will be kind of a help for that. And so we'll show you around the digs on Wednesday's Wednesday show. Until we meet again from a cheap motel room somewhere, or perhaps the Las Vegas Strip, want to wish you and yours the very best. I hope that you have a great, lucky, and healthy week. We'll see you all again real soon.